So friends, today we'll be discussing on to the IPL dataset. So I've got few datasets onto the IPL from Google. I've attached few links into the community tab. Also, I have given the link so you can download the datasets from the link which I have mentioned into the community tab, and here we'll be solving multiple data points which I have gathered for this purpose. So you'll be seeing multiple sheets, multiple links which I have provided into the community tab post for this particular live stream. I will simply explain what all these data sets are all about, and then we'll be proceeding ahead from there. So mainly I have two data sets, as you can see here. So from the name you can just pick up. So these two are main data sets, IPL matches 2008 to 2020. So basically both of these sheets or all of these sheets, they contain the data from 2008 to 2020. So only these particular date ranges data are present into all of these sheets. So into this sheet you can see here, I'll just quickly explain what is this data all about. So into the column A you can see I have the ID. So this can be considered as the ID of the different matches which would have been played. Into the column B I have the city, so into which city this particular match was being played. Into the column C I have the date on which this match was being played, the player of match of this particular match, the venue in which the match was conducted, whether this venue was a neutral venue or not, the team won, similarly the team 2 who won the toss, and what was the decision which was taken by the team who had won the toss. Similarly the winner, who was the winner of this particular match. So into a row you can see the data is present for just a match. Also we have the result, like what was the result of this particular match. So you can see the results, it was based on to the wickets or it was based on to the runs. So and also the result margin, so you can see 140. So this particular match was won by Kolkata Knight Riders by 140 runs. So this particular data is present, whether this was a eliminator or not. So eliminator, it simply means that either it would have been a semi-final or a final match. In method you can see NA is present, but we'll be coming to this later, what is present into this method. Into the column P you can see the umpire 1 and the umpire 2 information is present here. So I hope the data set is all clear, so you can just mention it whether the data set is clear or not, and then we'll be moving ahead from here. So this was the very first data set. Coming to the second data set, you can see, so this data set is IPL ball by ball 2008 to 2020. Now this particular data set is massive in the sense, like this particular sheet, it contains a lot of data. So you can just see the count. So the count is close to 2 lakhs. So 2 lakh rows is contained into this particular sheet. Similarly, you can see into the column A I have the ID of the match. Into the column B I have the innings. So there are 2 innings. So whether this information is from the innings 1 or whether this information is from the innings 2, and also the over is mentioned here. So which ball, so this is into the information. So the information which is present into the column D, you can see this is the ball. So this is the 5th ball of the 6th over. So this information is present here. Similarly, the batsman name, the non-striker, the bowler name. Like for this particular ball, who was the non-striker, who was the batsman, who was the bowler. So what was the batsman runs, what was the extra runs which were conceded, what was the total runs, non-boundary runs, is wicket. So was this did the team get a wicket or not into this particular ball. So we have all such information which is present here. Similarly, we have the batting team, bowling team, and all these other informations into this particular data set. Now you will tell me, Ashutosh, why do we have so many different data sets which we need to download it? So the thing was, as you can see, like there is a lot of count of rows which is present here. So I'll just see. So if anybody of you can please let me know if I'm audible or not. Okay, I'll just check this. I'll copy the video link. I'll paste this here. I'll paste this here. Yes, I'm audible. Great. I'll paste this here. Yes, I'm audible. Great. Oh, I think I'm not able to see the chat here, so no worries. So can you tell me how much SQL is enough for interviews? So the number of content which I have covered till now into my 0 to 1 advanced SQL playlist and also onto the advanced SQL playlist. So both of these playlists, they are kind of enough for cracking the interviews for any analytics purpose. So you could check out both of these playlist, and all of these questions which I take into account into all of different playlists, they are kind of, you can say, pretty much whatever questions they have been asked into the interviews. Okay, link to the dataset you can find into the community tab. So you can go to community tab of my channel and you can download it from there. I have pasted all the links of the datasets which I am using. Okay, let me just provide once more. So I'll just open my GitHub. So I would give this link here. You can just, I would tell you which all want to download and you can download it from here. Please open this particular link and the name of the files, or else wait, I'll just give it one by one. So there are 6 files which we need to download to understand the problem statement basically. So I'm just providing it here. I'll just provide into the chat. Please download the datasets from here. Let me know if you are facing any issues while you're downloading these datasets. And I'll be providing the links of all of these datasets into the description box of this video also, so no need to worry about that. Yeah, I think it's all fine. Okay, so I would go back to the video. Do you have any questions? I hope the data side is quite clear now. Yeah, hello, turning point. So I've just explained the data sets. I would now explain like why I provided so many data sets. So why data analysts are not getting job. Can you please elaborate on this? I don't think so. They are not getting job. I think practice is the key. So we need to practice a lot onto HackerRank, lead code. We need to practice the different questions. I think we can get the job. Okay, I'll just go back to the sheet and I'll come back to the questions after this. So I hope the data set is quite clear now. So the data set is quite simple. If you would see now why I had to break, or why do I need to have so many sheets. So the thing was, as you could see, like there are close to 2 lakh rows which are present into this particular data set. Now when I was trying to import this particular data set into my SSMS, so it was throwing an error. So basically it was not throwing an error. So the number of rows which you can see here is 2 lakh. So when I was doing select star or select count star from this particular data set, I was not getting the exact count. Like you can see here, 193,469 is the total number of data entries which are present into this particular sheet. I was not getting this particular entry, or rather the entry was quite less. I think it was close to around 6,000. So I thought of, or I think it was close to 60,000. So I thought of breaking this particular sheet into 60,000 data points or 60,000 rows, and then I did break this particular sheet into 4 different sheets, as you can see here. So 60 into 3 is 1,80,000, and the rest of the rows I think I've just occupied into one of the sheets here. So you can see here I have 13,472 rows here which is present here. So this is how I have accommodated all of different sheets here, or you can see the entire sheet here by breaking the entire data set into multiple small data sets which could be accommodated into my SQL Server Management Studio, and then I've just imported into my SSMS. So now you would just ask me, like, did I follow any procedure to break this particular data set? It was no. I just simply took the very first 60,000 rows, I copy pasted the data into a separate sheet, then I moved to the next 60,000 rows, I just copy pasted the data into a different sheet. So this is how I have done simply, and then I've just made these particular different sheets. So you can just see from your end if you are able to just import it just at a one go. If you're not able to do so, break this data set into sheets, 2 sheets or 3 sheets basis on your problem which you are getting, and then you can import it into the SQL Server Management Studio. I have imported it from before. I have all the different, you can see, tables. I'll just go to tables here. So you can see here I have imported all of these different data sets: IPL 1, IPL 2, IPL 3, IPL 4 and IPL. So into this particular IPL, it contains the information about the matches from 2008 to 2020, and into IPL 1, IPL 2, IPL 3, IPL 4, it basically I broke this particular sheet which contained the ball by ball information, and it contained around 2 lakh rows. So I've just broke down this particular sheet into multiple sheets, into multiple data sets, and then I have copy pasted the data into different sheets, and I've presented it here, imported it here sequentially. So okay, let me know if you have any questions till this moment. Hi everybody, whoever is joining. Where can we practice data cleaning? Okay, so right now I don't have any such video onto data cleaning I can think of. So I am planning to prepare dedicated 2 or 3 videos onto data cleaning, so I guess that would be enough, and from there you can practice. And you can also practice from, you can just simply download the data sets from Kaggle and try to identify how I can clean this particular data set, or how I can make use of this particular data set. What are the problems which I could encounter when I'm doing certain data analysis tasks? So how I can get rid of all of these kind of different data cleaning process or dirty data which I am having right now. So from where did you get this data set? I got this data set from Google. To be exact, I got this data set from Kaggle. By the way, I would just I've provided all the links of all these data sets here, so you can just download it from here also. My question was, what are company really expecting from data analyst? There is cutthroat competition only. Yep, that is true. Like competition is has increased a lot into the past 1 year or the 2 years. So you are very much true. What are company really expecting? I guess the company, they are expecting you to have expertise into the skills they are wanting. So if they are asking SQL, Python, so you should be pretty much good at it. And also they look into the aptitude part, your analytical skills. So uh, they are pretty much focusing onto the aptitude part as well, also your problem solving part. So I think practice is the key. Again, you should practice from Hacker Rank, Lead Code, all of these different websites. So that might help. We should move forward now. So, so you can see here, I have. So I just need to get two data sets. As you can see here, this is one of the dataset, and this is pretty much clear. This is into this dbo.ipl table, but all of these four datasets, you can see it contained the same data, but the data has been split into multiple sheets. So let us do one thing. We can use the union operator to join all of these different data sets into a single data set, and we can just have a single table which could contain all of these data sets. So I've just used the union operator. You can see here, first of all, I have created a temporary table. So the temporary table name is IPLS. So I've just renamed it for now IPLS, and I've just mentioned here create table IPLS, and I've mentioned all the different columns which I require, and also the data type of all of these different columns. And then I am after this, I've created the table. I'm inserting into this particular table the different data sets which I have split. So you can see here, I'm telling select star from tutorial.dbo.ipl1. So here I've just imported and I'm doing a union. So first of all, the IPL1, so the data which was contained into the IPL1 sheet, it has been imported. After this, I'm doing a union, so it will join vertically. So basically we could also join multiple tables or data sets vertically. So union is used for that case. So after I have got the IPL1 data set, I'm just joining it vertically with IPL2, similarly for IPL3 and IPL4. Now if you would see, if I would do a simple select count star from IPLS, so this is the exact number of rows which are present into my the second data set. So I would just count the number of rows. I think it must be exact 193469. So I think it's close. Yeah, so it is exactly the same, the number of sheets or the number of rows which are present into our second sheet. So this is how we have solved a particular problem. So why I did this, because the entire data set, I was not able to import it completely into my SSMS. Only 60,000 rows at once, or close to around 80,000 rows was being imported. So I just simply break down the entire data set which had 2 lakh rows into multiple sheets, and each of the sheet I just kept around 60,000 rows. So all of these sheets, you can see IPL1, IPL2, IPL3, IPL4. So if I would copy this and I would just simply do a select count star for each of the sheets here, you will get to see it is exactly the same. IPL1, IPL2, IPL3, IPL4. So just select this and execute this. Invalid. Okay. I forgot to paste this also. Just run this again. So you can see here close to 59,999 rows are present here, and if I would simply sum up this, we will be getting the count, the number of rows which are present into the master data set. So I could just simply call this as a master data set, and I've just broken this master data set into multiple data sets. So if you could just see from your end if you are able to get the entire data set at a single go. If not, you can just simply do the same process which I'm doing right now, and then let me see if you have any doubts. Or from where do you practice domain knowledge and develop analytical skills? uh, so basically the analytical skills, it is close to the problem solving skill. So the more number of problems you are solving, the better you get at your analytical skills. So you'll be getting different viewpoint, like okay, this particular problem can be solved by this process also, or this particular problem could have been solved by the second process. So you'll be getting multiple points, multiple views when you are solving a lot of different problems. So that is what I think you can develop your analytical skills. And regarding the domain knowledge, I think that is not pretty much important, but yeah, having some kind of domain knowledge, like for example, if we are dealing with the stock market data set, so we know okay, there are certain sharp points, so we can smoothen the data set by using the moving average thing. So these are kind of different domain knowledge is required, but practicing domain knowledge, I don't think it is pretty much that important. Important part is you are able to solve the problem into the interviews. That is pretty much fine. If not, you need to practice a lot. So you should practice a lot of questions, I should say. Let us move to the SSMS again. Okay, so what are the different problems which we are going to solve now? Before that, let us see once. I'll do a select star from hashtag IPLS, and the second table is select star from IPL. Okay, I would execute this statement. Okay, execute. So okay, okay, you can see here both of these data sets, they have been imported finally into our SSMS. Both of these Excel sheets have imported finally. So one of the sheet, it contains the details of the matches which have been played, and the other sheet, it contains the information about the ball by ball information for each of the matches which have been played. Okay, so let us move to the problem set. So I have a lot of different problems which I could have think of, or I would find onto the Google. So I would just simply note down here into this particular sheet. So I've just prepared this particular sheet. Let us see how many problems which we are able to solve today, and then the rest of the problems we can solve on a different day. So you could just simply take a screenshot of this. For now, you can practice from your end also, and then, or if you want to follow along this video with me, you can do that also right now. All the data sets which I have provided into the chat box, so you can just download the data set from there. Let us start. So the very first question you can see here which we need to find is the number of matches which have been played per season. So we need to find this. Now how to go about this? Like, we need to count the number of matches which have been played into per season. Now I have not solved all of these questions, so I've just prepared the data set. I've just prepared the problems from before. I haven't solved it yet. I wonder if we have the season information or not. Okay. Okay, we have the dates, and in a single season would be played in a single date year. So we could just simply count the number of times a year is coming. So for example 2008, so I would just simply grab the year from all of these dates, and then I would simply count the number of times this particular year is coming, and that would simply give the number of matches which have been played into the season. Okay, let us simply use this particular logic to get the total number of matches which have been played into the each of the season, because I could not find a column where the season information is present here. It is just the date on which the match was played. So I'm just using this particular logic that the entire matches in a particular season would be played into the same year. So I would just simply grab the year information from all of these dates, and I would simply count the number of distinct, let's say, the matches ID which is coming, and that would simply give the number of matches which have been played into the each of the season. Now I don't know how much accurate this particular data set is. I haven't verified from my end, but I think I've downloaded it from Kaggle, so it must be pretty much very much correct data. At least 98% of the data might be pretty much correct. So let us start writing the query for this. You could also write from your end and you can paste. Okay, sorry, is enough for getting job? Yes, it is pretty much enough for getting job. The advanced SQL playlist, I would request you, Rohit, so please go through all the videos which I have been posting around. So you should practice a lot of different questions on to lead code, hacker rank, hacker earth, to strengthen your concepts. And that is pretty much enough for the concepts which I'm covering. So I'll be covering a lot of different concepts from now, like afterwards also, but whatever is present into my playlist right now, it is pretty much enough. What do you think? We must select domain at the start of the career, or just jump into any domain and then? I think you should pretty much jump just right now, just learn these skills, and then you can just think of changing domains if you're not liking. Hands-on projects to practice and build my portfolio. So I have prepared a portfolio project onto the Indian census data. So it is I've broken down the video into two parts, part 1 and part 2, so you can watch that. And pretty much I've covered a lot of different concepts, so you can get to learn a lot of different concepts onto the SQL, the advanced window function, the rank function. So I've tried to cover a lot of different concepts from the Indian census data, so you can watch that video. I don't know, I think you will get to learn a lot from that particular video. So also I have prepared a video onto the Shark Tank India dataset. You can watch that video also. Okay, I think we could just move to our screen SSMS. So the thing which we need is the total number of matches which have been played into each of the season, and the logic which I've created here is I would just simply get, like, all the matches would be played into a single year, like a single season would take place into a year. So from this particular date column, you can see I would just simply grab the year, and I would just simply count the distinct match IDs which are coming. So that would serve my purpose. So I would just write here select and year from date and id from tutorial.db or .ipl. So I would just copy paste here. So you can see I'm getting the year as well as I'm getting the ID of the matches. So I would simply count the number of I think number of different IDs which are coming up for each of the years. So I just put this into a subquery. So this was pretty much simple. I just tried to gather a lot of different metrics which I could solve into this live session onto this particular data set. Even if the title, you can see it is a simpler data exploration project. So just count here, select year, comma, count of distinct. So this counts number of distinct ID which is coming here from this. And at the last, we need to group by onto the basis of the year. That's it. Let us execute the code. So friends, you can see here for each of the year I'm just getting the number of matches which have been played. So in 2010 60 matches were played, 2011 73 matches have been played. So you can just see the logic which I have applied here to solve this particular problem. So number of matches, I would just rename this column, just execute the code again. So yeah, this is pretty much the thing which we had been asked into the problem. So I just needed to get the number of matches which have been played into each of the season. So this is the result which we are getting. So into year 2008 58 matches were played, 2009 57 matches were played. So this is the information which we are getting. Let us move to the second problem. This second problem says most player of match. So these are all very much simple. So here also which is the data set which we require, number of the most player of matches. Let us most player of match we want. Okay, so batsman ball by matches. Here also we'll be using this sheet. And which column is it? Player of match. You can see into the column D I have player of the match. So we could just simply count the number of times the player is coming into this particular column, because for each row a single match information is present here, no duplicate information is present here. So we could just simply count the number of times this particular player is coming into this particular row, and the player who is coming the most number of times, that simply means that the highest man of the match has been won by that player. So I would just simply run this code again once, and we'll be executing onto the column D. So I would just write here select player of match, comma, count of the same column, player of match from. I'll just copy this, paste this, and at the last I'll do the same thing. I'll group by onto the basis of the player of match. So I hope you're getting this point. I would simply execute this statement. So you can see here for each of the player I'm getting the number of times they have got the player of match. So I would now do this, rename this column. So this would be just give any name, number, man of match, or just write here man of match. And at the last I need to get the player who has scored the most or who have won the most player of the match. So I would order by on the basis of this particular column into the descending order. Let us see if this produces the result or not. So you can see here AB de Villiers, he has won the man of the match award 23 times, the highest number of times. And then the rest of the player, you can see here the information is present here. So this is how we can solve this particular problem, like getting the player who has won the most player of the match in just hey, thanks Animesh. Okay, you have provided, okay, that's so much nice of you. Okay, let us go back to the SSMS. The third problem which we need to do here is, let us move to the third problem. So the third problem says most player of the match per season. So into the season 1, which player has got the highest player of the match? Into the season 2, which player has got the highest player of the match? We want to get this particular information. Let us see how to do this. So okay, so now this time I'll be using another column to group by, and I would simply get the number of player of match won by each of the player in each year. So I'll just do this here. Year from date, I would extract the year from date, and I will present this into this particular column itself. I'll execute the code because it's not contained. Okay, my bad. So I'll just Control X. I'll execute the code again. So you can see here, for example, Chris Gale into the year 2011, he has won the player of the match 6 times. Similarly, Chris Gale into the year 2012, he has won the player of the match 5 times. So this is the information which we wanted. Now for each of the season, I want to know like which player has won the highest player of the match. So from here you must have understood what is the thing which we need to do here. So we'll be applying the rank function here to provide the ranking. So I'll do your select, and I'll be partitioning onto the basis of the year column. So I would rename this column as year. So I would do here select player of match, comma year, comma count. Okay, this is man of match, and I'll be using the rank function. So rank over, I'll be partitioning my data set or the result which I've got onto the basis of the year column, and for each year I'll be ranking on the basis of the man of the match column into the descending order, so that the player who has won the highest number of man of the match into a particular year would get the rank as one. So I'll be giving this, and this is the rank column from. Let us execute the code. We rank or partition by year, order by man of the match. The order by clause is invalid in views. There's something wrong we have done here. I'll just execute this particular code. So player of match, and into the year, the number of man of the match they have got. Partition by year and order by man of the match. I think it's pretty much correct. Why is it showing error? Views. Okay. Rank over partition by. Okay, let me just simply remove this. Let me see if we are getting any output here or not. Okay. So I think the pretty much the concept which we are applying here is correct, but there might be certain syntax error which we are getting right now. We need to correct that. Okay, I'll do a control X. Let us do it again. So I would just provide this into a subquery. Right here, select player of match, comma, year, man of match over partition. So I'll be partitioning my data set onto the basis of the year and order by onto the basis of okay, let me try this for the final time, or unless we'll be moving to the next question. It is throwing error, order by clause is invalid in views, inline function, derived tables. Okay, oh, I think we could we could use a temporary table to do this, because we cannot use the order by clause as it is throwing an error like the order by clause is invalid in views, inline functions. So I think I would remove this because of the, and it works pretty much fine. It was all because into the subquery you cannot use the order by clause, and that is what it was throwing the error. So if so, I just read the error which I was getting here into a lot of details, and I could get the answer. So you can see here order by clause is invalid into the subquery. So into the subquery you can see I was using the order by clause, and this is pretty much invalid to use. So I removed this and I got the rank. Now after I did get the rank, okay, one more error. So I'll just execute this statement. So you can see here I'm getting the rank here. Now I'm only concerned, so you can, if you would see the result closely, the rank is being provided onto the basis of number of highest number of man of the matches which have been won. Now we are only concerned with the highest man of the match award winner. So I would simply filter out the data, select star from this, and I would simply filter out the data where rank is equal to 1, and that would pretty much give the data set of all the players who have won the highest number of man of the match award in each of the year. So you can see I'm getting the result here. Sean Marsh into the year 2008 won the highest number of man of the match award, that was the 5. Chris Gale, similarly for all the players you can see I'm getting the result. Let me see for, Yeah, this can be considered as a portfolio project. So this is simple data exploration which I'm doing right now, and you can use this particular result whichever I'm getting to build simply beautiful dashboards and include into your portfolio. So you can do it definitely. Moving on to the third question. Moving on to the fourth question. So most wins by any team. So here we need to solve or find the team which has won the highest number of matches till date. So which of the sheet will be using it here? So here you can see here I have a winner column, and simply I'll be using the same concept. I'll be grouping by onto the basis of the winner column, and that would do the thing. So I would just copy this particular table name. We select star from, and I'll be using this particular winner column. As you can see here, winner. So I would just simply count winner, comma, count of winner, and at the last I'll be grouping by onto the basis of the winner. That's it. Let us execute the command. So you can see here I'm getting the number of times, number of matches which have been won by each of the team. I'm getting the information here. These are kind of the dirty data. So you can see here NA is present 4 times. So these are certain data which we need to study before we are doing the analysis, and we should definitely remove all of these dirty data, because NA is not team only. So definitely that is a dirty data, or it might be a certain data point which is kind of exception. So might be the result was not decided for 4 matches. So that is why we are getting NA and we are getting 4. So these are kind of the data cleaning points which we need to take into account while we are doing the data analysis. But for now, this is a simple data exploration project with the help of the simple SQL queries. So that is the motive of this particular live session. Let us move to the next question. So top 5 venues where match is played. Okay, so top 5 venues. Here you can see venue is present here, so the same concept I'll be using. I would be removing this winner. I'll be pasting this venue column, venue, and execute. So you can see here for each of the stadiums I'm getting the number of matches which have been played into each of the venue. I'm getting the information. So friends, this is pretty much clear, but here they wanted top 5 venues. So into the SSMS limit function does not support. So let me see if using the top, this particular thing, we are getting the result or not. Okay, we are getting the result, but yeah, group by and order by we need to do, because you can see I'm not getting the top 5 result, or the top 5 venues where match highest number of matches were played. Here we need to do into the descending order. Here they're providing into the ascending order. So friends, into the Eden Gardens you can see 77 matches, highest number of matches are being played into the history of the IPL. So this is the data set just till 2020. So till 2020 data is present here. So you can see here Eden Gardens, Firozshah Kotla, and all these different stadiums, the highest number of matches they have been played till now. Let us move to the next data point here. Most runs by any batsman. This is also, I think, most runs. So this particular sheet, it just contains the information of the, you could say, the matches, but for getting the runs and the batsman or the bowler information, we need to take into account the second sheet, the sheet which contains ball by ball information. So from this particular sheet, we'll be getting the data of the most number of runs which has been scored by the batsman. So let me just repeat or look at the question once again. So most runs by any batsman, I need to see this, most runs by any batsman. So batsman, and onto the total runs column, I'll be doing a group by now. So I'll do a select, or rather, first of all, let us see, select star from hashtag IPLS. Okay, great. From here, I'll do select batsman, comma, count of total runs from, I'll just provide this hashtag IPLS and group by batsman. I'll execute the code. So you can see here I'm getting the details of the total number of runs which have been scored by each of the batsmen. What is the result which we wanted? So we wanted most runs by any batsman. So we need to do the same thing which we have done into the previous problem. So I'll do a simple order by count of total runs into the descending order, and here I'll just mention top one. I'll execute the code, and you can see Virat Kohli is the highest run scorer into the history of the IPL till 2020. We have the data set. So this is the answer. Let us move to the next problem. Okay, let me see if any more questions are there. Okay. So percentage of total runs scored by each batsman. So what does this problem it is saying? So we need to get the percentage of the total runs scored by each of the batsmen. So let's say if there are 5 players, let's say the player IDs are 1 2 3 4 and 5, and the total number of runs which have been scored into the history of the IPL is 100. So these 100 runs definitely would have been scored by these 5 players only. Let's say if there are 5 players into the IPL, so I would just redistribute this 100 runs here, 20 30 20 20, okay, 10, and then this would be 25 25. So I guess from this particular problem which they mentioned here, percentage of total runs scored by each batsman, it simply means they want a percentage value of the runs scored by the batsman divided by the total runs which have been scored into the history of the IPL. So they basically want this particular kind of number and into the percentage terms. So this is the kind of value they want from this particular problem. Let us see how to solve this. So basically we would require to get the total runs which have been scored into the IPL, and then we need to divide this number by the runs which have been scored by each of the batsmen to get the percentage value. Let us see how to do this. So we had a column of the total number of runs scored by each of the batsmen. Okay, I would just remove this top one batsman, count of runs, group by batsman, and it's pretty much fine. I'll just execute this statement. So you can see here, this is the information of the batsman and the runs which have been scored by the batsman. Okay, so into another column we need to somehow get the total number of runs which have been scored till date in IPL. There are many ways to do this, but a simple way would be using the window function. So I would do a sum over runs, and over I would do this order by runs rows between unbounded preceding and unbounded following. Now why I'm doing this, you could check my running some video to understand this particular window function into a lot of more detail. I hope this would work. So sum over runs over order by runs, rows between unbounded preceding and unbounded following. Okay, let me simply run this code. Count of total runs, total v just execute the code here. It is saying hashtag total runs is invalid into the. Okay, I would need to remove this particular column from here. It cannot be used here, obviously. It should be made into a subquery, and then I can use this. So I'll just put this into a subquery. I'll do a select star comma, paste this here. Let us execute the code. So yes, we are getting the count of the total runs. So is this the total number of runs which have been scored into the history of IPL? Let us verify this. So I would just paste this code, execute the code. We must know like the answer which we are getting is correct or not, like the total number of runs into the history of IPL which have been scored is, which is coming right now, it is correct or not. So we should definitely check this. So I'll do a select sum over total runs from. Let us see if we are getting the correct answer. Yes, the answer is pretty much correct, whichever we are getting 193467. Okay, okay, this should be sum of total runs. I was just doing wrong from before. I'm so sorry for that. So now this is pretty much correct. I'll just execute the code. So I've done wrong in from the previous into the previous problem also. So that should be count. That should not be count. It should be sum of total runs. This is the correct answer what we are getting right now. Okay, so batsman and total runs we have got, and now simply it is very much simple. We just need to divide the total runs column with the runs which are getting. So I would just total runs would do this. Let us execute the code. So you can see here I am getting into decimal points. and you can shorten this number which you are getting to certain number of decimal points, obviously, but the pretty much the concept remains the same. So this is how we can solve or get the percentage runs which have been scored by each of the player. Next one is most sixes by any batsman. So if you would look closely into this particular data set, we have a column here, batsman runs. So the number of runs which was scored into this particular ball by this particular batsman, it is mentioned here. So wherever six is coming, that simply means that a six was scored into that particular ball. So we just need to count the number of times this particular six is coming corresponding to a batsman, and that would give us the total number of sixes which or the most sixes hit by any batsman. So this is how we need to do this. So I would simply, okay, before that let me check the chat. So hi, please attach the link of the data sets and the questions which you solved. So I have attached the link into the chat box here. You can see here if you scroll up into the chat box. So I've attached the link. Also, I would just mention all the links into the description box of this video after ending this particular live stream. So I'll just mention all the links of the data sets which I'm using currently, and also the questions. So these are the questions which I'll be solving. So I'll be taking multiple live streams, so I will be solving all of these different problems with the live stream only. So you can just take a screenshot of this particular screen and then solve it beforehand, or how you would like. So you can just do it as per your comfort level. So the question which we are solving right now is the most sixes by any batsman. So I've explained the concept which I'll be using here. So let us run the statement. So I'll just write a select star from hashtag PLS. Let us see the output which is coming out, and we need to count the number of times sixes. So each row contains information for each ball which was played. So whenever you are seeing the batsman runs is equal to 6, that means a 6 was scored. So first of all, let us just filter out the data for the balls on which the 6 was scored. So I'll just write a select star from hashtag IPLS, where batsman runs is equal to 6. So let us execute the code here. So you can see I'm just getting the information of the balls where a 6 was scored. Now it is pretty much simple from here. So I would present this into a subquery, and after this I would write a select batsman comma count of let's say batsman only, batsmen from this, and at the last I'll be grouping by onto the basis of the batsman. So how many times the batsman is coming into the batsman column, so those many number of sixes must have been scored by the batsman. So you can see here Matthew Aiden 44 sixes. Similarly for all the batsmen which we are getting here right now. So what is the problem which they wanted us to solve? So they wanted us to solve the most sixes. So after this I'll be ordering by onto the basis of the count of batsmen, and this should be into the descending order, and at the above I'll be using the top function, so top one batsman. I'll again execute the code here. So you can see Chris Gale has scored 349 sixes. Similarly, the next question is very much similar. Most fours which have been scored. Now you can just argue like 6 was okay, but there might be a case where 4 runs have come from a particular ball, and the let's say that was not a boundary, that was just extra runs which were accommodated into the particular ball. So you can see here I have a column which is the non-boundary, and here the runs are present here, but we are not getting a pretty much deep information onto whether a 4 was like a 4 which was mentioned here is a 4 which has been scored into that particular ball or not. So we should take into account the batsman runs, and whenever the batsman runs is equal to 4, that means that a 4 was scored from the batsman. The extra runs column or the total runs columns we need not to take into account. We should only be concerned for the batsman runs columns. I hope the difference is pretty much clear into all of these three columns, like what is the main difference. I hope that is pretty much clear. So we are only concerned with the batsman run, so I would take this into account, and instead of 6 I would mention here a 4, and similar information will be getting for the highest number of 4s which have been scored by any player. So you can see Shikhar Dhawan has scored 591 4s. So this is pretty much information which we wanted. Moving ahead on to the next problem, and this is pretty much interesting. The problem says 3000 runs club, the highest strike rate. So this particular problem, it mainly says the players who have scored more than 3000 runs, who is having the highest strike rate among all of these players. So we'll be solving this particular problem. Let us see how to solve this, but before that, let me see if the chat is there. Okay, no. So 3000 runs. So first of all, we are only concerned with the players who have scored 3000 runs. Along with that, if we somehow get the total number of balls which they have faced to score the 3000 runs, I think our problem is pretty much clear then. So first of all, let us just filter out or get the total number of runs which have been scored by the players. So I would just do this IPLs and group by batsman. Instead of total runs, I guess we should use the batsman runs. Yes, after executing, you can see I'm getting the batsman run. So also, if I could get the total number of balls which they have faced. So if you would look closely into this particular sheet, each of the row that contains information for a particular ball. So the number of times the batsman name is coming into this particular column, that is column E, that means those number of balls they have faced. So we could just simply count the number of times the batsman name is coming into the batsman column. So that is simply means that we will be getting the total number of balls which have been faced by the batsman. I would mention this into the group by clause also. That okay, no need. Why we need to mention this? I just execute this statement. Okay, count of batsmen. This is the total balls. Control X, Control V, and this is the total balls faced to score those many runs. So total balls, I'll mention this. Execute the command once again, and you can see we are getting the result. Now I'll be using this into a subquery, and from this particular subquery I'll be getting the strike rate. So I'll just do a select batsman. So strike rate is basically total number of runs divided by the total number of balls which was faced. So batsman runs divided by the total balls which have been faced, and I would rename this column as the strike rate column from. Okay, let us execute the command. I should. Oh, okay. So you can see here zeros. We are getting zeros also. I think to remove these zeros, I need to multiply either the denominator or the numerator with 1.0 so that we can get into the decimal numbers. I'll put this into bracket, and also I need to multiply this with 100. I'll execute the code. So you can see here, okay, 0 is still coming, no worries, but you can see here I'm getting the strike rate for the batsman. Now after this I need to find the player who has scored greater than 3000 runs with the highest strike rate. As you can see here, 3000 runs club with the highest strike rate. We need to solve a lot of many different problems, but yeah, so player who has scored the greater than 3000 runs. Okay, let me get this column also. We'll control C, control V, execute the code. Okay, great. So I'll do here select batsman runs, comma, strike rate from where batsman runs should be greater than equal to 3000. Okay, where it should be where. So you can see here we are getting all those batsmen information who has scored greater than 3000 runs. Now who is the player who is having the highest strike rate along with 3000 runs? We need to get this information. So after this we need to order by on the basis of what? Order by on the basis of the strike rate, and this should be into the descending order. And from this I need to get the top one batsman. I hope the logic is pretty much clear. So you can see AB de Villiers, he is the batsman who, with the highest strike rate into the history of the IPL, with the players who have scored greater than 3000 runs. So this is the information which we wanted, and we have got here. So this was a pretty much interesting problem. I guess the number 12 problem was pretty much interesting to solve. Similarly, earlier we have done for batsmen who scored greater than 3000 runs. Now we are concerned with the bowlers with the lowest economy rate for the bowler who has bowled at least 50 overs. So we need to solve this. So this is pretty much like the strike rate, economy rate. These are pretty much the domain knowledge. Obviously, like you must pretty much know what does these terms mean, but you could find the definitions onto Google also. Let's say if you don't know anything XYZ of cricket, so you could simply Google these terms and you can find the definition, the mathematical definitions of these particular terms. So economy rate, it could be simply means like the total number of runs which was conceded by the bowlers by the total number of balls that has been bowled by the bowlers. So we could just divide both of these numbers and we'll be getting the economy rate. So let us see how to solve this. So we'll be getting the lowest economy rate. I think this would, okay, let's see, lowest economy rate for the bowler who has bowled at least 50 overs. How could we know the information of the bowlers who have bowled at least 50 overs? So we can know this information by counting the number of times the bowler name is coming into this particular column, and we know into over 6 balls are there, and we are only concerned with the bowlers who have bowled at least 50 overs. So 6 into 50, that means 300 balls. A minimum of 300 balls should have been bowled by the bowlers here, which we are only concerned with. So first of all, let us get this information. So I'll just select I think first of all I would do a select star from simply forget the columns which we have. So I'll just do a simple select star from hashtag IPLS. Now this particular hashtag IPLS, you can see I've just created a temporary table to accommodate all of these data sets. Oh, okay, so you can see here I have the bowler names. I'll just write here bowler comma count of, well, like the number of times the bowler name is coming here. So this means that those many balls have been bowled by these bowlers. And at the last I'll do a select from hashtag IPLS, and at the last I'll be obviously grouping by onto the basis of the bowler column, so that I could just get the count of the total number of balls that have been bowled and the number of runs which have been conceded. So this bowler, for example, SR Watson, the total number of runs which was conceded into the fourth ball of the 14th over. So that simply means that total runs, you can see here, is 0. So there's nothing like the runs which was considered by the bowler. So I would just simply take into account the total runs. That is pretty much simple. So that I would be doing right now. So I'll be using this total runs column. So I would do a sum of total runs. That's it. Let us execute the code. So you can see here the bowler name, and this is the total balls, and this is total runs conceded. If I would just simply run the code again, total balls bowled and the total runs which have been conceded. So you can see we can get this particular information. Now we are only concerned with the bowlers who have bowled at least 50 overs, and we just discussed right now that in an over there are 6 balls present. So 50 over means that 300 balls, a minimum of 300 balls should be bowled by should have been bowled by the bowlers. So we'll be filtering out the data for this. So I'll just present this into a subquery, and I'll do a simple select, and I'll do here like bowler comma, we need to get the economy rate. So I pretty much assume that the formula is the total runs which have been conceded, and I guess this should be divided by the total balls that have been bowled. And you could pretty much convert the total number of balls which have been bowled into in terms of over, but I guess the answer that would remain pretty much the same. Economy rate from this execute the code. So you can see here I'm getting the economy rate, but here I need to mention here where total balls, this should be greater than what? So this should be greater than 299, because okay, 300 balls greater than 50 overs, at least 50 overs should have been bowled, as you can see it was mentioned there. So you can see here we are getting the economy rates, and here I'll be ordering by, so order by the what? Order by the economy rate, definitely into the ascending order, because for bowlers we want that they concede as many as less runs possible. So the best bowler is the bowler who has conceded the less run possible into the more number of balls that the person has bowled or the bowler has bowled. So this particular, the economy rate particular column, this should be as less as possible. So I would also put this here top one. Now, because why did I tell this? Because I would not write here descending order. That simply means, so I'll just simply execute the code. So you can see Rashid Khan, his economy rate is the best among the bowlers who have bowled at least 50 overs. Now, why is that economy rate I'm getting? Because I've just divided this number with the total balls. You could just convert the balls into the overs and you can get the particular answer. The answer, it will remain the same, I think. I guess. Yeah, I think it will remain exactly the same. So this is how we have solved this particular problem. Okay, let me move forward to the problem ahead. So total number of matches played till 2020. This is pretty much straightforward. We just simply need to count the distinct IDs which are present into any of the sheet, or not any of the sheet. I would take into account, select count of distinct ID from, and I will take into account this particular sheet, tutorial dot. Let's execute the code. So you can see here we are getting the 816 matches that have been played into the till 2020. The next question, let us solve. So this question will be the last question of this particular live session. I'll be conducting multiple live session after this, and I'll be announcing it primarily from before. Total number of matches won by each team. So this is also pretty much simple. So which of the column will be using this? I guess we have solved this particular problem. Okay, no worries. I'll be using this particular table itself, and to get the information of the team who has won the total number of matches wins by each team. Okay, so here we want to get the information of the matches which have been won by each of the team. We need not to get the information of the total number of matches which have been played, but the matches which have been won. So we'll be using this winner column itself, and we'll be doing, so I'll do a select winner comma count of winner group by winner. So I'll execute this, and you can see we are getting the information of the total number of matches which have been won by each of the team. So friends, this was pretty much the 15 questions which we have solved into the live session. For this particular live sessions, I'll be solving. So the next problems are kind of very much interesting. Some of the problems are very much interesting, and we'll be solving this using some of the same advanced level SQL functions which we have learned. So some of the major questions which I've been getting is what is the best way to learn SQL, or from where to learn SQL. So you could just simply watch my 0 to 1 advanced SQL course, and also the advanced SQL playlist, and also the SQL interview questions which I keep posting every now and then. So pretty much you can go ahead, practice from all of these data sets, all of these problems which I post every now and then, and I think that would be pretty much enough. Also practice problems onto the hacker rank lead code and such kind of different sessions. I think it would help you a lot, and you can ask problems. You can just comment down your doubts whichever you are having, or you have any alternate solutions for any problems. You can just mention that into the comment box. That can help me as well as all the other participants who are seeing this particular live session or will be watching this video ahead. So that would pretty much help all of them. So we'll be solving all these different problems. So there are a lot of different problems. We could just simply solve 15 problems into this particular live session. I'll be trying to solve much more different problems ahead into the future live sessions, so that we just don't waste time and I could accommodate. So my plan was to solve a particular column of problems, but I guess we could just simply solve 15 problems, not even half. But no worries, I'll be keeping this live session every now and then I'll be informing you guys. You can just pretty much participate, just flow along with me, or you can take a screenshot of this particular screen. You can just practice from your end also, and that would pretty much work for everybody. So friends, this was all about this particular live session.